While I was watching a recent Thunderfoot video, I noticed a video comment which was attached. Looked like it didn't have anything to do with Thunderfoot's content, but I was curious, as I always am, about other YouTubers and their ideas. This turned out to be a video by a user known as Sun is the Father of Man. His video is titled 5 Real Questions for Atheists.
I want to ask some real questions to atheists. I want to see if you have the backbone and the character to come out and answer these questions that I'm going to ask, but answer them truthfully. I want you to answer them truthfully. Okay?
Okay.
So here goes. Question number 1. Do you agree with Richard Dawkins when he says that a religious household, religious parents who have children and are teaching them religious values, do you agree with Dawkins that those children should be removed by the state from that household, from those parents?
It's been some time since I read Dawkins' The God Delusion, so I pulled it out last night and skimmed over Chapter 9, titled Childhood, Abuse, and the Escape from Religion, and I could find no mention of Dawkins advocating state removal of children from their homes. Now, it's possible I missed something, or he makes such a statement elsewhere in his book, or perhaps he said something like this outside the book. But I'm going to need Sun to give me a reference before I can accept that this is a suggestion made by Dawkins. To answer the question of removing children from households, however, it's not that easy. I agree with Dawkins that some religious indoctrination is tantamount to child abuse, but it depends on the severity. Would I remove a child from a home where they are constantly and severely mentally abused? Yes. Does religion constitute severe mental abuse? Depends.
I want to teach you something very special this morning, and I want you to remember this, boys and girls, something you'll never forget. Has any human being always been there, yes or no? No. Has any scientist always been there? No. Who's the only one who's always been there? God. Who knows everything? So, in a big loud voice, who should you always trust first, God or the scientist? God. And I want you to remember that.
Do you believe in evolution?
No.
What do you believe?
That God created the world.
Who told you that?
My parents.
اسمك ايه؟
سمعت.
بسمة عندك كام سنة؟
3 سنين.
انت مسلمة؟ بسمة انت تعرفي اليهود؟ بتحبيهم؟ لا ما بتحبيهمش ليه؟
كده.
عشان هم ايه؟
هم قردة وخنازير.
عشان هم قردة وخنازير؟ مين قال عليهم كده؟
ربنا.
قال عليهم فين؟
القرآن.
قال عليهم في القرآن كده صح.
Our firm belief is there are 2 kinds of people in the world. People who love Jesus and people who don't.
You came on this camp, you're going to be a different person. You're going to be radical. You're going to be on fire. How many of you want to be those who would give up their lives for Jesus?
مدوا لنا الأيادي للحق والجهاد. إذا احتجت على باب القدس أصدق داعيا بزي مقاتلي برافو ولكن أرجو إليه الخطى وأصرنا سنسأل من أعاذينا
Take these prophecies and do what the Apostle Paul said and make war with them. This means war! This means war! This means war!
Question number 2. Do you honestly believe that all of the terrible things that have happened in history have been caused by religion and or by religious persons, by people who were inspired by religion?
All? No. It's a loaded question. But I've often heard it said that atheists have caused the most death in the world. Atheists like Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, etc. For those who make those assertions, I think you give some valuable advice.
Now think carefully before you answer that. Although it may sound like a straightforward question, think carefully. Are you sure that that couldn't have been caused by some people using religion as a cloak to further their expansionist agenda? And these would have been, maybe European kings, emperors, and other people. Question number 3. Do you think that the world would be a better place if we got rid of all people that are theists, all people who are believers?
Another loaded question. No, I don't think the world would be a better place if we got rid of all people who are theists, all people who are believers. But I think the world would be a better place if we could deconvert them back into atheists. How is that different than people like you wanting to convert people like me into theists? And if you don't think what you're doing is a bad thing, well, why do you think what I'm doing is a bad thing? Would the world be a better place, do you think, if we got rid of all the atheists? Or would it just be a better place, in your opinion, if you were able to convert us all into theists?
Question number 4. How is it that a person who professes no belief in a higher power or a deity seems to dedicate their entire time on YouTube to talking about said deity that doesn't exist? How is that not completely irrational and signs of somebody who perhaps was struck in the head by a blunt object and had damage to the brain?
You were doing fine there until you tacked on that last gratuitous shot at your opponents. So in your opinion, atheists discussing the subject of theism on YouTube is evidence of a mental disorder. But, again in your opinion, believing in invisible beings and dead people walking out of graves is perfectly rational, the signs of a healthy mind. Okay. To be honest, atheists wouldn't discuss the issue of theism if theists didn't keep shoving their opinions and beliefs in our faces. Besides, why do you think you get to be the only ones with a camera and a microphone?
And question number 5. Do you believe that anyone who has a belief in a higher power or who is religious, however you would like to describe this, is somehow inferior mentally or emotionally or in any way, but generally has less intelligence than somebody who does not have a belief in a higher power?
No, I merely believe you are mistaken with your beliefs.
And here's a bonus question. Seeing that no one has ever returned from death or from the grave and explained, how it is, no one confirmed at least, how is it any different for an atheist to believe, and again, believe is the key word here, how is it any different for an atheist to believe that there is no afterlife than, for a theist to believe that there is an afterlife? What's the difference? You and I, I'm a theist, assuming you're an atheist, either one of us, we have no proof, no evidence to substantiate our beliefs.
You've answered your own question. We have no evidence of life after death, so that's why I believe in no such thing. The question is, with no evidence, why do you believe there is?
They think I'm weird? Go ahead. You're not the ones who are going to be judging me if I'm going to go to hell or heaven. God is. It matters what he thinks of me. It doesn't matter what you think.